morning. Happy Motivational Monday. Good morning, gang. Good morning, High Point family. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And I wanted to take this time to motivate you guys this morning about something that God recently gave me. God told me that God's people are like bread. So, everybody loves bread. I can't eat it right now because I'm on a diet, but I love bread. And everybody loves bread. It's hearty, it's nourishing, and it's mentioned a lot in the Bible as well. But God recently gave this to me as I was preparing to actually bake bread from scratch myself. That there are 3 ways that God's people are just like bread, and God is the baker. And the first thing about bread is that it's unique. So no piece of bread, no loaf of bread comes out looking the exact same way every time. No matter how much you try to cookie cut it or shape it a certain way, bread is going to have a different texture on the inside of it each time. And God's word says that we are fearfully and wonderfully made, and we are unique, and we are one of a kind, each of us in our own way. And then the second way is that the baking process is a painful process, if you're familiar with it. So, from the grain all the way to the actual eating plate, that process is painful. If you put yourself in the place of the bread goes from being broken down from the grain, which means being broken down into tiny pieces from the grain, and then being mixed in with all of those other ingredients, and then being kneaded. And the kneading process is like basically taking it apart and putting it back together, and taking it apart and putting it back together. And after all of that whole process, and then that's a significant part of the process of preparing bread, is that it has to sit and wait. And I know we've all gone through that before. We don't have to go there this morning. We've all had to sit and wait for a little while. And after you sit and wait, guess what the baker does? The baker takes that bread that's been sitting and waiting, but rising as it was waiting. There's a word there. After the bread has been sitting and waiting for a little while, then the baker takes that bread and throws it in the heat. And we've all been in that process where just when we thought, okay, God is picking me up now, and it's time for me to go into whatever purpose He has for me, that purpose has a little fire under it. And all of a sudden, you find yourself in a hot seat. You find yourself in a heated and stressful and straining place. But the great thing about being like bread, that I love that God spoke to me on this, is that when you come out, you are a wonderful creation when the work is finished. And the word says that He that has begun a great work in me is faithful to perform it to the end. And I truly believe that the interesting thing about it is that it's not for you. That process that you've gone through to become bread, to become something special, it wasn't for you. It was for someone else to partake in. So that's something that we come to grips with, is the fact that sometimes God's glory being fulfilled in us isn't for us. Sometimes it's for somebody else to get a word, to get blessed somehow, to get delivered somehow. But the thing that we can take pride in, the thing that we can enjoy and appreciate, is the fact that God took the time to put His hands directly on us and fulfill His purpose, fulfill His glory in us, through us, to make us that wonderful, tasteful, hearty, and replenishing and nourishing meal for somebody to get the glory out of, for Him to get the glory out of when in the end. Because the baker loves to taste his own meal. So take pride in that. Take pride in the fact that that pain that you're going through, that kneading process that you're going through, that heat that you're dealing with right now, is a process that is going to have glory at the end of it. You're going to be a wonderful creation, a beautiful, fearfully and wonderfully made creation at the end of the process when God gets done with you. So I want to encourage you on that. God bless you. I hope you have a wonderful Monday and a wonderful week. I'll see you all next time.